Let's just do it. Let's just do a video. This is actually a test video. I'm using a wireless mic system just for the hell of it, but I thought I'd talk about some records I picked up recently. Why not? I'm in my pajamas, by the way. I'm really lazy today and I don't feel like doing anything. And so it was like difficult for me to even think about making a video or a YouTube video. I had to just sort of fool myself into, I'm just going to test my microphone system and then make a video. And I don't have to make a video. And it doesn't have to be like a finished product. And also, to be honest, I've been depressed as fuck lately. I don't know about you, but I find the world situation incredibly depressing right now, which, as people have pointed out, sort of by design, that it's sort of meant to make you feel despairing and hopeless. But it's been working on me. And then also my birthday came around. And I'm not somebody who typically celebrates their birthday. I kind of subscribe to the Patton Oswalt, you get 10 birthdays or whatever it's called. I like that rule. It's when I saw that skit and I go, oh my God, that is totally me. I totally believe in that. And I'm sorry if you're one of these people, but I find adults that treat their own birthdays like they're a national holiday is just, I have a funny feeling about that and I just don't do it. But I do believe in the milestone birthdays, and I just turned 60, which additionally was depressing as fuck for me. I don't know why, it just was. I think like with the 40s, I felt like I had a lot, I had my shit together and felt some wisdom with that. I felt with my 50s, there came some like additional wisdom and maybe some spiritual growth. I don't know what else to call it. And 60s, it just and where the world is at today, coupled with that, it's just super, super depressing to me. So I had like a little pity party for like a day and just felt like shit. And now my I feel kind of normal as much as I can in a world that is really not normal. Anyway, I thought I'm gonna do more videos and just do like simple ones. I'm just gonna talk about one album kind of thing, and I just have not felt the motivation. But I thought today, I have a lot of records. I recently picked up a lot of stuff just cause, and one of those I was really happy to get is Hasil Adkins, The Wild Man, which was a 80s record of Hasil Adkins, a lunatic who lived in West Virginia somewhere, and is kind of legendary in outsider music circles for making his own records. And also famously, as a kid, he heard like people like Hank Williams or Elvis, and he thought that they played all the instruments. So Hasil is a one-man band. He plays everything. I mean, he occasionally is on bands. Here he's backed by the A-Bones, which is a fantastic group fronted by Billy Miller and Miriam Linna, who were the editors of Kick magazine and what is their label? Norton Records, and they're just fantastic. And this came out on Norton Records in 1987. So Hasil Adkins, rest in peace. There's a couple cool documentaries about him. He was just nuts, and he met his end when he was like feuding with a neighbor, and he got ran over by an ATV and died shortly thereafter. So anyway, glad to have Hasil in my library. I don't have a ton of stuff by him, but he's a lunatic and it's wonderful. His old sides are really good. I recommend checking out the other Norton Records albums, compilations of his 60s and 70s tracks. And then he lived into the 90s. Oh, and most people probably know him from the Cramps, who covered his track She Said. So that's how I first heard about him. And then I found this for really cheap. Nina Hagen. What is it? Fearless. I have quite a few Nina Hagen records. I do not own this one. The cover's really beat up, but it's in really good shape. And it's got some wacko songs on it, like Flying Saucer. And TV Snooze. I really like Nina a lot. Huge fan. And I was delighted to get this one. The Feederz, Vandalism, beautiful as a rock in a cop's face. A sentiment we can all embrace nowadays. This came out in the 2000s. I actually have, I got a promo CD of it many years ago. But nice to have this on vinyl. Frank discussion and the Feederz. Of course, I've had this forever. This is like one of my most coveted punk rock records from my teenage years, which is the Feederz Ever Felt Like Killing Your Boss with sandpaper cover. Every couple of years, I have to change the shrink wrap on it, or the poly bag, because it gets kind of white. But I've kept the shrink wrap on, and it's $7.99 Tower Records tag where I first got it. But I love this album and the Feederz. The Feederz turned me on to Guy Debord and the Situationists movement of the 50s. Very cool, and the whole idea of detournement. And as a former rebellion, I've always loved the Feederz massively. And then another punk rock record that I needed to get because I foolishly traded this away, but Black Flag's Damage, which is the classic era of Black Flag when Henry Rollins first joined. And with two guitarists, which is, of course, Greg Ginn, who seems to be a horrible human being. And Des Cadena, who was the vocalist at one time, but decided he wanted to move guitar. So this is the dual guitar, very noisy version of Black Flag with Henry Rollins croaking in it. Pretty good stuff. I like it a lot. Black Flag is touring around. It's just Greg Ginn with like some really young kids, like teenage kids. It looks really funny to see him standing there with them. It's like dad taking his kids to the Gap for some clothes or something. It's just really funny. But they have a female vocalist for the first time in Black Flag, so it almost makes me want to go see them, or at least see performances by them. And then I don't own any Biz Markie, but I got the Diabolical Biz Markie. The Biz Never Sleeps. I was pretty glad to get that. So I don't own any of his stuff. I'd like to get some of his early stuff, the stuff that was like banned for sampling. I have a lot of his stuff digitally, but this is the first actual vinyl. I forgot. And I was gonna initially make just one video about this record, which was The Damned, Not Like Anyone Else, which is their tribute to Brian James, their original guitar player for the first album. And then, as everybody knows, or doesn't know, if you know anything about The Damned broke up. I believe after their first or second album, they broke up. And then when they reformed, Brian James had gone on to other stuff and was not in the band anymore. And Captain Sensible moved from bass to guitar. And I want to say he's like one of the most dynamic live guitarist. I have not opened this because, like a true, like almost like a Gen Z person, I bought this record. It arrived like after it had already been digitally released, so I've been listening to it on streaming services. I use Tidal for some reason, so I could feel superior to those that use Spotify. But the inside, I just broke the shrink wrap. There are no hype stickers for me to destroy in this album, so if you tune into my videos to watch me destroy hype stickers, you'll be sorely disappointed that there are no hype stickers. And I did not buy a colored version. They sold out very quickly. I just got the plain black vinyl. Wah. But this is a great album. So basically it is The Damned, an entirely cover version album of them covering songs that were favorites of Brian James. I think it's neat that they did a tribute to their recently passed away ex-bandmate. Apparently they were on good terms. I think Brian James played in reunion shows with The Damned a few times kind of recently. I'll have to look and see if that's the case, but I'm pretty sure. But they do a really cool cover of There's a Ghost in My House, which is very similar to the version by The Fall. If you've ever heard the original There's a Ghost in My House. It does not sound like the version of The Fall, but they do just some perplexing ones like Summer in the City. But what I really like is there's a version of the Stooges' Gimme Danger that's lovely. And of course, Pink Floyd See Emily Play, which reminds me of Captain Sensible's version of Pink Floyd's It Would Be So Nice. But what I got it for, and the reason I got really excited about this, is they cover a track by a Portland 60s band, the Lollipop Shop, who were an early band of Fred Cole of Dead Moon, a psychedelic outfit with his unmistakable vocals on it. They originated as The Weeds, but I think it was the record label wanted them to change their name from The Weeds to a much more teenage psychedelic pop band friendly, The Lollipop Shop, complete with extra letters and E's. You'll see. But anyway, they do a version of their track You Must Be a Witch, which I play that almost every Halloween. A really great psychedelic song. And then of course the Animals When I Was Young, and the Stones The Last Time. But this is a great album. I love The Damned. I am not really big on seeing like really early punk bands now. But I got to see them a couple years ago in Portland, where they did 2 nights at the wonderful Revolution Hall and kicked ass. And also it was the original band. I mean, it was as close to the original band as you can get, because they had Paul Gray, their bassist from the 80s, but they had Rat Scabies back in the band, and Rat Scabies had been gone for many years. I think it was kind of an acrimonious thing, but he came back. So really happy to get this. Very cool. Oh, and then a few CD things. Some of them are just too weird to mention, but I've always loved Meat Beat Manifesto. I wanted this on a 12-inch, but I can only find a CD, it's the music. The one that has cool Jimmy Swaggart samples in it. And also Henry Jacobs samples, the audio collage. Audio collage, I used to loop on my shows quite a bit. This peculiar record that I know nothing about, the Bifurcators. This was a case where this was relatively inexpensive from a Discogs dealer. So what I usually do is I look through their CD inventory and see, okay, what else can I get for relatively cheap? And it was this very strange, I believe it's going to be a jazz kind of thing. I've not listened to it yet. I need to listen to it. Gang of Two. And then the other thing I found, this looked intriguing to me, Celebrity Voices Impersonated. And then I looked it up and actually got it. And it's really just essentially, it's, what is it called? Celebrities at Their Worst. It's basically like a condensed version of that, which is, there's just all kinds of weird celebrity bloopers and outtakes of people being freaking out. Of course, the Casey Kasem thing is all over it. But there's the Buddy Rich rant where he's berating his band on a tour bus and somebody recorded it. And then there's some slightly odd ones like Freddie Hubbard, the jazz great Freddie Hubbard, freaking out at an audience, calling them white motherfuckers. Of course, the Orson Welles Frozen Peas commercial is on here, and the Colonel Sanders commercial outtakes, which everybody heard. A lot of really obscene Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin promo stuff. Casey Kasem's all over it. There's some Art Linkletter. Of course, the Linda McCartney isolated backing vocals for Hey Jude, which are awful, but many people now say that is not actually her, that was a joke somebody recorded. But yeah, this is essentially, it's like kind of a ripoff of the Celebrities at Their Worst compilations, only you don't have to give money to a racist asshole, which is the guy that put those out. The original Celebrities at Their Worst is a creep. These people, probably not creeps. This is fun. This is probably something that I'll play on my radio shows. I have this whole section up on my CD rack of just crap that I play on the air or grab sometimes, and one of those is this classic one. I need to get this on LP, except for on LP, the cuts aren't isolated, which is the National Hardwood Floor Association Savage Vigilance for Rug-Free America. I play cuts from this, maybe too much on my shows. Another one is, this is great. It's Free Snot of Jesus, which are just hilarious. There's phone pranks to religious radio stations, which, by the way, that's what this is. This is essentially just prank calls to religious radio stations in Portland, Oregon. And that's kind of what these are. This actually came from Portland, a group called International Secular Atavism, who came from Portland and Vancouver, BC, a couple shit disturbers from there. And it's a combination of really bizarre, almost Church of Subgenius like pseudo-religious rants, coupled with phone pranks that are just hilarious. I've been wanting this one for a long time, and I think this is on vinyl, if you want it on vinyl. Oh, what else is in my weird rack of CDs, just general purpose? I need to throw something weird on. Of course, this one's classic. For some reason, I have multiple copies of this. I'd like to get it on vinyl, which is the Langley School Project, which is young kids singing rock songs like Eagles songs and David Bowie songs. I play their version of Space Oddity frequently on my show. This is a fantastic record, or CD, if you will. Another one I play occasionally because I have a show that's on, sometimes most of my shows are on Fridays. I'm currently on a little hiatus. Saul, the Get Downs. He was a Cleveland area DJ known for doing his like rush hour, end of the workday, just hilarious rants. And he was really crazy doing these rants. You can hear him on, there's a Devo album. And I think I'm going to get it wrong, but I think it's the Mongoloid Years, where he is the MC of a Halloween party, which was a very early Devo show where they opened for Sun Ra, and it was turned into a riot. And he's the guy introducing them. So he's sort of verbally, probably drunk or stoned, and he's verbally sparring with Devo before they go on the air, go on stage, and then they are booed, and a riot ensues on the show. Oh, there's another one that I grabbed quite a bit. I have my Post-it notes. This used to be in my radio crate when I would go to and from a radio station, but it's Mike Patton's Adult Themes for Voice, which is just him doing just bizarre vocalizations in a microphone while on tour, and they've been processed in the studio, musique concrète style, and they're just very bizarre. And I have my favorite ones written down for reference. Number 8, Porno Holocaust, which is fantastic. Sounds like Popeye having a grand mal seizure. And then one called Red Mouth Black Orgasm, which is just like somebody repeating the F word in rapid succession, sounding very crazy. And when I first had a radio show, and my show was during what's called Safe Harbor on radio, what that refers to is after 10 o'clock, nothing is really obscene. I mean, you can play anything you want from 10 to I think 6 in the morning. So when my show would start, the first thing I would play was that track, which was just somebody just cursing, just saying the F word over and over and over and over. That's kind of it for records. For me, stuff I've got. I'm going to try to do more like onesie type things where I talk about a particular record that really moved me. Man, it's hard to find inspiration. It's I don't feel like doing anything. But I'm gonna, my goal is to try to do a video a week. Let's see if I can do it. Right? I've said that before, haven't I? Well, anyway, adios. Oh, and if you like it, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Anyway, adios.